Alright, hello guys to the third episode of the podcast Talksick. I'm here with my friend Mihnea,
Yeah,
and thank you for coming. I really appreciate it.
of course, it's a pleasure being here.
Thank you. So let's just go with like the basic things. Introduce yourself and what do you study
Mhm.
and tell me more. I wanna know.
My name is Mihnea. I'm from Romania. I've lived in Brussels a really long time now, 14 years. I am 25. And hobbies, I guess a bit of the basics, hanging out with my friends. I like a bit of gaming, a bit of sports, and I'm a student at the VUB, Business Economics.
Okay.
And for me, since I've already done my high school here and everything, I thought it was a good option.
But now you're doing good with our studio
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
Python and BIS type shit.
BIS, BIS, it's always a hassle, you know.
Yeah, I know, I
But
know.
it's working. It's working.
Okay, fair enough. How would you describe Belgium for someone that has never been here?
I lived in Brussels my whole life. Well,
The all 14 years that you
yeah,
have
the
been
whole
here.
14 years. Yeah,
Okay.
and the way I would describe Belgium is kind of like a jack of all trades, in
Okay.
the sense of I think you have a bit of everything here. Uh, Different culture, different people. Weather is not the best
That's true. That's
for
true.
most of the time, but activity wise, it's very pleasant to be here. A lot of
Okay.
things to do, I would say,
Yeah.
especially as a student. I think it's very interactive for students.
Uh huh.
So,
And okay, if you want to compare high school to uni in Brussels, and tell
um,
me about this, and
mhm,
tell me like compare your friends that you have. For example, in Iran, when I was in Iran and I was
mhm,
studying in high school or uni for a time for like 2 semesters, everybody was like Iranian,
mhm,
and I didn't know what diversity means in general. I didn't know different cultures, and since I moved in here, I could like I don't like focus on other people and understand to know their perspective of the life. When you're, for example, when you're from Spain, you have different expectations from life. When you're from Iran, is different. Romania is something else. It depends on the country that you grew up as well.
mhm.
But what was the percentage of the your friends? Were they mostly Romanian or you have mostly international?
So, high school here, I did it here at the one of the European schools, and again, very diverse.
With Caesar. Caesar was there as
Caesar,
well.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
fair, fair, fair. Shout out to Caesar as well.
yeah. And yeah, most of my friends were very diverse. Of course, I had a lot of Romanian friends as well,
Yeah.
but uh, besides that, I knew people that were from Italy, Spain, England, Ireland, a bit of everywhere in Europe.
Okay.
So everyone has a bit of a different mindset, I would say. For example, I feel like as a Romanian, I'm like we're very open to each other. Like even if we don't actually know each other that well, if we just meet, we always say like hi, or like if we see around each other around corridors, it's always like how are you? Like oh, I'll see you in class, stuff like this. Even if we don't know each other like super well, eventually it's gonna progress to like clicking very hard.
Yeah.
Well, as with different people, maybe it takes a like at least from my experience with other people, it takes a bit longer, especially the western part of Europe at
Europe.
least.
Yeah.
Um, but I guess there's people and people everywhere in the world, so I
I know,
guess
I
it
know.
just depends of the person you're looking for to hang out and be friends with. So yeah.
Fair enough, fair enough. Like, I have the same experience as
Mm.
you. I feel like mostly Belgians or Netherlands that I had like the most interaction with.
Mm.
Um, like they have this inner circle
Yeah, yeah.
that sometimes it's really hard to get to know them because they already have it and they don't want to break it. But I feel like the first interactions would be hard, but after you get to know them, maybe they can loosen up a bit.
Exactly.
But in your culture, for example, Romania, I had so many Romanian friends as well. They were super nice. They were always friendly. I appreciate every moment that I had and the experience that we had. The first 3 years of bachelor was crazy. Like we were like partying like so many, bro, so many nights, man. Like I was. But yeah. But I loved it. I loved it, and I had an album, like a song, like a music album with Gabriel, like Mihnea. You know, like he encouraged me. He was always like that, optimistic guy that he was always like, okay, if it doesn't gonna like get a successful reaction, at least you put it out there. Like he has that mentality, and I loved it about him. But now his path is very different. Now he's in Romania, working in one of the good companies for the consulting. Like life can never like
You never
be
know what
straight
straight line,
path,
never.
like you can
Life is
never.
like a roller coaster, up and
Right.
downs, never a straight. So
Exactly. Like if you would talk to me like, okay, Gabriel is gonna be out of Belgium and is gonna start his career in another company in Romania 2 years ago, if you told me this, I would never believe you. Because he was here, he was
Obviously,
doing
yeah.
bachelor, and he was like getting ready to start his life here.
Mm.
But now over there, he's chilling. Like honestly, Do you have this kind of experience in here?
I have, yeah, most of my friends from high school that are very dear to me. Most of them live completely different places. I
Okay.
have
But mostly Europe, no? Or
mostly Europe, except one friend. He just moved to New York recently.
okay.
He's been trying to do a bunch of different degrees, but like his passion is truly music. He's a great violinist,
Oh wow.
and he got an opportunity, a scholarship to go to New York to one of the really good jazz universities.
Damn.
So he's been there right now. He has like a lot of opportunities and stuff. So it's kind of like how you're saying with Gabriel as well, that
Yeah.
like he's pursuing a good career, but like somewhere very far.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. New York, man.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
my dream city, Like if there is like a lifetime opportunity to go live anywhere I want,
Mm.
I would always choose New York or Tokyo.
Tokyo is great.
One of these
I would
two.
love to go to Japan as well.
Yeah. And I want to like see the gardens, like the nature that they have there, the technology over there. Like it's super crazy. It's like city of future.
Yeah.
That is in my imagination. Every time when somebody talks about Tokyo, instantly I go to cyberpunk type shit.
Oh yeah,
It's not
yeah.
good.
I can see that. I can see that for sure.
Yeah. But what about you? What is your dream city? If you had to choose wherever you want, you can go wherever to live.
Honestly,
Don't say Brussels because I would be
no,
disappointed.
no, not Brussels,
Yeah.
bro. I've lived here enough, but
Yeah.
as we said earlier, we never know where life brings us.
That's
So,
true.
but I would agree with you on this one. I would love being somewhere in Japan. It doesn't have to be necessarily Tokyo, but somewhere
Okay.
in Japan. It seems like such a peaceful place to be, like country to be, and like I feel like everyone is so polite and respectful, and they have like really nice traditions.
That's true.
I feel like I could really get behind that because usually I'm quite a quiet person, so
Uh-huh.
I think I would enjoy a lot the peacefulness,
Fair enough. But like every city has their pros and cons.
of course.
But in Japan, everything you said is correct.
Mhm.
But it can be a one major disadvantage that I remember is like language barrier.
That's true.
Not everybody can speak English, and you have to like talk to in their mother tongue. I feel like yeah,
Eventually, I'm assuming you can learn it. It's probably would be very hard,
yeah.
but I've seen a lot of technological advances. Like I think maybe 2 weeks ago, I saw this pair of glasses that you put on,
And it translates
and it
your
translates
yes.
automatically what the other person says,
Yeah,
which I
that's
find it like
crazy.
insane. Honestly, like what has the world come up to?
Yeah, and I read something like there is gonna be a new device that you can talk to animals as well.
Yeah,
And I was like, bro, why? Why would I have
that's
to?
crazy.
Like, yeah, I would be paranoid. Like, if I have a cat in my room and a pet, and if he's thinking about killing me, I would not want to know that.
Bro, I would give him the side eye constantly, like, what is this guy talking about, bro? Like,
what the fuck, man? Yeah. So, since you have been living here, Do you identify as a Belgian, Belgian Romanian, Romanian, and what is that? You know?
Um, well, I think I'm always gonna identify myself as Romanian.
Okay.
My my family, my parents, my heritage is Romanian, and we still keep a lot of the traditions in Romania in our household. So even if I don't live there or if I go to Romania not that often, I'm still a lot in touch with my heritage and with traditions that happen in Romania. So I'm always going to be Romanian in my eyes. I do
Okay.
have now technically Belgian citizenship, but
Fair enough.
I'll
Fair enough.
probably use it only if I have to, you know?
Yeah, use it for the passport and shit and for the vacation
Exactly.
type shit. Okay, fair enough.
Hold it like
Alright,
this.
fair, fair, fair. So I gathered some questions for you till the
Mm.
end of this. Um, if you can describe the difference between the locals in here, like Belgians, and the international, like what are the differences that you uh took your eye? You know, like you just
Mm. I think with international people, it's a lot like they try to make themselves at home a lot, which I have,
international. Okay,
yeah,
okay,
which
yeah.
I also have I had the feeling when I came here, I wanted to have connections, make friends, and everything, which is a good thing. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like sometimes local people don't necessarily allow this in a sense. We're talking about it as well, where sometimes it's harder to like infiltrate groups from like local people because they're already pre-made and stuff like this. But with international students, if you find yourself like a big group or like even a small group of international people, it's gonna be like super easy to connect with them.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Alright. I think I can relate to that because, like, not with the international, but let's say the people that they came from Iran.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them they came here without their family or like they have nobody here. Let's say, okay, in general, and they're looking for something like family figure. Like
Mm.
we have a group of friends of 9 people as an Iranian. Shout out to the group. Um, we are always trying to help each other. We're always to like be there at our worst times. You know, like we're always there to support each other, and I appreciate this. But I haven't get this feeling from locals here
Mm-hmm.
because they already have their family. In the weekends, they would go to them.
That's
You
true.
cannot
Yeah.
like adapt to their lifestyle. They have their own schedule. But if you're international, since you're in this shit together, you would
You
go
get
all
a
together.
bond, and it's much
Exactly.
easier to communicate with people that have the same.
hmm Let's say
I
not trauma, but like difficulties.
Yeah, I was gonna say struggles, but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly,
Okay.
yeah.
So do you agree people would get really connected with their difficulties and their traumas rather than like having fun? You know what I
Mm,
mean? Like,
I mean, I think it should be everything should have a balance,
okay.
because I feel like if you're at the same time hanging out only with people just because they have the same issue as you, maybe you don't actually have a lot of things in common. I feel like maybe sometimes it can get a bit exhausting, maybe.
hmm
But if you have a bit of everything, like you can go out partying and you can go and like meet with them and have like a deep conversation. I think for me that's like the perfect balance.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Alright. Um, you know, I had this experience. Like, I used to live in X buildings, like the
Mhm.
dorms, with like 6 different Belgians here.
Mhm.
But believe me, I tried to get close as I can to them, but there was always a barrier.
Mm.
You know, like for example, when I want to like eat something, I was there, I was in the kitchen eating by myself. I was like, okay, do you guys want to hang out? Do you want to do this? It was always a barrier. Oh
Mm.
no, I have to do this, I have to do that. But that was bullshit, you know?
Of course.
You know, like,
Usually most of the time when
uh,
people say that it's bullshit, yeah.
yeah, you understand, like, okay, they don't want to like hang out. After some point, they gave up.
Mm.
But you have to find your own people, in my
Mm.
opinion, you know? Not everybody would like click with you.
Yeah, I mean, I had a bit of the same experience as you were saying when I was in Maastricht.
Uh huh.
It was like it was really hard to like communicate with people because most of them were from there
Okay.
and all the time only Dutch speaking, and I'm I have no idea like how to speak Dutch.
If you want to generalize the youth culture in Belgium, not necessarily just Belgians, like
Mhm.
from your friends or international group, what do you guys do? What is the culture? Do you guys hang out during the week or only weekend? Or how's it going with you guys, you know?
Um, I guess it's a bit of both. Mainly weekends, I would say
Okay.
Friday, Saturdays. But like if we have a bit of free time, especially now in university, like we would hang out during the weekend, during the weekdays as well.
Okay. And what do you guys usually do?
Um, University wise, mainly it's either it could be either parties or even like chill events, like we had it last week with the barbecue and stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
that was
yeah.
really nice. You get to also experience different things, maybe even sometimes different cultures,
That's true.
and also you just get to meet a bunch of new people, so it's always nice.
Fair enough, fair enough. But I feel like university improved a lot for this.
Mm.
Like at least VUB. Because in my time, the first 2 years, the first year was 2019 or something,
Mm.
and we only had TD, like the parties from university. It's called TD. It's like it's something in French actually. TD.
It's
It's
like
like tea time.
tea time. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. It's like a Dutch university, but they have TD. It's in French, so I don't get it. That's aside. But after that, I feel like on 2020
Mm.
it was Corona.
Yeah. Okay.
2020 to 2022, you couldn't do shit here, you know. And I was in the dorm living there. I remember I had like a group of friends, like 8 or 9 people, but we were not allowed to be in a room more than 2 people. I had 8 people. They took a picture, like security pulled
Mm.
up, they took a picture of my ID card and they gave me a warning, like, bro, you cannot do this. I was like, bro, this is not prison, like, they're not my cellmates and shit. But still, you know, it was crazy. Like, Corona time here was crazy.
Yeah, I remember because I was here during Corona time as well. I was 2020. I just started my first year in Maastricht, but again, they were telling us like universities are not gonna be open this year.
It was
Everything
all online,
all
no?
online, and yeah, basically kind of the same as you. A lot of my friends were back here because they didn't also have university. Same reason, so they came back home.
Mm-hmm.
And the only time, yeah, we got like sometimes we got a chance to meet up in secrecy and maybe hang out at someone's place and
Yeah.
just chill, like watch movies, drink a little, play some board games,
Fair enough, fair enough,
stuff
fair
like
enough.
this, you know.
But do you think Corona had an advantage in our life or no, in general?
Mm,
You're talking about the cons, but did it have any pros for you in your life?
mm,
Okay, I'm gonna give my example.
okay, yeah.
See, like what I'm talking about. So for me, I never always had the time to practice on the things that I really
Okay.
like self empowerment books or like reading a book that I like.
Mm,
I had those times in Corona, and I started like learning a bit of guitar, a bit of piano, and I started my YouTube channel like 4 years ago with like try not to laugh or the intro, and I learned editing videos. I love these things that I do it for myself, not only for university.
yeah.
Because bro, since I remember, I've been studying, bro, like and I thought Corona would give me some personal time to like improve myself or like gather some experiences or like some memories that I can tell to my grandchildren, bro. I did this, bitches. Like,
I
yeah.
survived the
Yes, I
coronavirus, you
survived
know.
the
Yeah,
Corona.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I get the extra free time. I
Yeah,
feel like workload was also much smaller.
exactly.
I mean, I remember I woke up like 2 minutes before classes, just logged in,
I know, I know.
and then I would say studying was easier, maybe not necessarily more beneficial,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I did find myself as well having doing stuff that I like more than.
That's true. I don't know. Corona was a bit crazy, but at the same time, I liked it.
I kind of liked it as well. I
Yeah.
remember because I had one friend, like one of my best friends that lives right next to my place, maybe like 10-minute walk.
Okay.
and all the time we would sneak out of sneak out in theory because you're not allowed to be on the
Yeah,
street,
yeah.
and go. We have a big, like a big ass field behind my place.
Okay.
They grow like crops and stuff, and we always went there because no one would see us. The crops would be like up to our necks, so we
Crazy.
could actually go on walks, do like other stuff there. So
Alright,
that
alright.
was
That's so
nice.
cool.
That
Yeah,
was the
yeah.
nice part about it, I would say.
Alright, fair enough, fair enough. Shout out to your friend as well
Yeah, yeah,
during
yeah.
the Corona time, huh? What was his name?
Aaron.
Aaron. Okay.
Yeah,
Was he from Romania as well?
yeah, yeah. From
Do you think Belgium or Brussels is
mm,
a easy city to adapt?
mm, since I've been living here a long time, for me it's really easy.
Okay.
And I would say yes.
Okay.
But what I would say is also I see a lot of people in my year right now
Yeah.
that have come from different places, and it didn't, honestly, I feel like it didn't take them too long to adapt, in the sense that they managed to learn the city relatively fast. They managed to connect with people. They go out. They do like social activities. So I think in that sense, especially uni wise,
Mm-hmm.
I think
Manageable.
it's very manageable. Yeah.
Okay, but you're talking about specifically Brussels.
Uh, yeah. Well, that's my main experience.
Ah, it's
So
it's alright.
I could not say for different cities, but
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't imagine it being too different from Brussels. Maybe.
What about Netherlands?
Um,
Do you
feel
think
like
Netherlands, like the city that you study, is like
mm,
more adaptable or Brussels?
no, I definitely think Brussels is more adaptable.
Mm.
As I was saying, a lot of people, since they were mainly Dutch speaking, they had their own groups. Not a lot of people went out really,
Mm-hmm.
and basically, since it's a very small city, you don't actually have that many things to do. And the only time I pretty much hang out with people was when I was at my dorm. We had the pool table. We had like a mini football thing.
Ah, the football. Yeah. Okay.
So if I wanted to hang out with people, I would usually go downstairs,
Ah,
find
it's
some people, ask them, you want to play
fair enough.
pool or
Fair
like
enough. Yeah,
mini
yeah.
football, or like during the during football season as well. We had TVs downstairs. A lot of people put like the football game on TV, so
Yeah,
you get
yeah,
to
yeah.
meet people there as well, have a beer, chat a little. So that was
Okay.
okay, yeah.
I
Uh,
get the vibe. I get the
mm,
vibe. I had the same experience in Leuven as well.
mm,
Like in Leuven, it was my first year here. It was 2018. The first 6 months that I was there, like the whole city of Leuven. I've saying this a lot of times. Like I have some hatred towards Leuven. I don't know why, but the whole city of Leuven is just one main street.
mm,
Okay, it's only have one main street, and at the end you have like these bars, like the road full of bars, and that's it. And I finished Leuven in 2 months. Like I
mm,
went everywhere, and since I was like, let's say city boy, like
mm,
from Tehran and capital type shit,
yeah.
and Tehran is like too big,
Mm,
you know. Since like Tehran is like a big city, like Leuven was a bit like not interesting for me,
mm,
but every time that I wanted to hang out, we had this like common area. We had this like big ass TV. Somebody brought like a PS4. We played there. We had billiard over there. We played Jenga,
mm,
Halloween parties. But the one thing that I learned over there is like the people from Netherlands, they can be super adaptable and super chill.
mm,
Like I found like two girls, like they were like my neighbors in the same floor that we used to live. They were super chill. They were down for do anything. They were fun.
mm,
I get this vibe from them, and I always like think of the first impression of Netherlands people for me, like those two.
mm.
But for Belgium was different.
Okay.
They were always like a bit, I don't know, a bit conservative, let's say,
Mm,
than the people from Holland. So I feel like, in my opinion, Netherlands, they're like, I don't know, more open-minded towards like international students, I say, you
mm.
know. But you have different experience,
Yeah, yeah,
you can
yeah,
contradict with
yeah,
me,
yeah.
like it's okay. But I feel like the first person you see from one country specifically, it would like change your whole opinion about those countries. You know, like
mm,
for example, if this is the first time you see someone from Iran
mm,
and they're acting like bougie, you know, like they're
mm.
acting a bit like I don't know, like clothes, and they don't want to like interact and shit. You would always that first impression from the Iranians based on that.
Yeah, I guess in a
But
way,
but you
yeah.
lived over there, you know the
Mm.
culture more than me, so I trust you on that. You know, I trust you on that. So no worries over there. Tell me one good thing, like a good thing about Brussels, and a thing that frustrates you about Brussels.
Okay. One good thing is, I think, in my opinion, for sure, is the different cultures and different people. Because for me, I love learning new stuff about different cultures.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I I traveled a bit, I would say, not the most, but not the least either. I've done a few countries, mainly in Europe. And I always love going to specific countries that I met people from. So, like, let's
Okay.
say I have a Spanish friend, I go to Spain, and then I'm like, okay, so this is how your home country looks like. This is what you guys do. This is your tradition.
Mm.
So I love doing that. So, and I think Brussels um, opens that opportunity for me a lot. So,
So Brussels is like an international village
yeah,
that you
yeah,
can like meet new people, know their culture, and after that, when you go on a vacation, you see like, okay, that's why you act like this,
yeah,
bitch.
exactly,
Okay,
exactly. So
fair,
I
fair.
find that always really interesting.
Ah, the diversity.
Yeah. And one downside, um, I would say probably the weather. It's always got to be the weather, honestly, for me.
Okay.
Because I'm so used to, for example, now, um, I haven't gone to Romania for that long of a period of time this year, for example. And
How often? I'm sorry, but how
hmm,
often do you travel to Romania?
till last year used to be pretty often. I would say
Okay.
like 3, 4 times a year.
Okay.
This year not so much. I went last summer for a bit, like a week, and I haven't gone back since.
Okay.
Maybe I'll go this summer. I'm not quite sure yet. There's a lot of stuff to do here as well with exams. I have a lot of friends coming back as well, so I'm not sure what my holiday summer vacations look like.
Okay.
Um, but the weather in Romania is like it's normal weather. You know, you have your 4 seasons.
All right. Okay.
Whereas in Brussels, you can have 1 hour it would be snowing, then it would be raining, then the sun would come out, then it's freezing again. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
so you never know really. And for me at least, like I never really know how to dress. I don't know if I'm like too warm, too cold. I don't know if I need to have an umbrella with me. I don't know if yeah, these kind of stuff.
yeah. Yeah, I know. I know. I know.
But I don't think there's that many downsides to Brussels as a city. I
Okay.
think it's pretty well balanced, especially in terms of like transport system. I find it very well, for
It's
example.
super amazing. Yeah.
Exactly, very accessible and like also very cheap for most for students as well. Like I think you have to pay I don't know like $20 a year or something.
It's yeah. It's around that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
have access to
Till you're
everything.
25 though.
Yeah, 25 or 26 maybe.
20,
I'm not sure
like on the
exactly.
birth of the 26 you can't, but
Okay.
25 and the till 26 you can.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this I think it's a pretty balanced city. Just
Okay. Alright, 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 alright. So diversity is a good thing,
mm,
weather is a bad thing. But bro, you have been here for 14 years. Like,
yeah, I'm here for 14 years, and I'm still as you can see, I'm still not adapted to the
yeah,
weather.
yeah.
So
Still it's shit. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Fair, fair,
it's
fair.
much better. I have some friends that just came back, just came here, and they tell me all the time. I remember during break between classes,
Yeah.
they were asking me, "Why are you staying in the sun all the time? Let's go to the to the shadow side. It's gonna be a bit cooler." And I'm telling them, this is a rare occasion when you get to see the sun in Belgium. So take
Take
the
the
most
most out
advantage you
of it.
can.
Yeah, yeah.
And I swear, 3 months later, like when it started being nice here around March,
Yeah.
the sun started coming back up. And all those people that were telling me, why are you staying in the sun at the beginning of the year? were all telling me, let's go chill in the sun, let's stay
Yeah.
out in the sun, it's nice outside.
They just understood why you did that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
fair
But
enough.
now they get it, so
Yeah,
yeah.
so many people do that. Like when it's sunny, I would always go to the grass stairs like of
Yeah,
the
the
campus.
hill, yeah.
Everybody's chilling there.
Mhm.
They are with their bikinis sometimes over there, like tanning. I was
Mhm.
like, okay, I see you, I see you. But I understand what you mean. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. For me, I prefer rain
Yeah.
rather than like sunny most of the time.
Mm.
Sunny, you're gonna sweat, like, and you can like, I'm gonna tell you this.
Mm.
If it's cold, you can put on clothes and shit, and
Yes.
you can control it.
True.
But if it is hot, like, okay, after some point you take
Mm.
it off, but like there's nothing else. Like you cannot like go more than that.
I agree, and I have this debate with a lot of people.
Yeah.
One of my friends that is from here, he always tell me, "Oh, I love smoking in the rain, or like having my window open and just looking at the rain." And he's like, "I always prefer rainy over summer or like warm." And for me, I don't know if again maybe I'm associating warm with having a good time in Romania during summer holidays, but
Okay.
I love when it's much warmer than when it's colder.
Fair enough. Fair
Yeah.
enough. There's something clicked in your mind, like,
Yeah,
okay, good
probably.
weather, like sunny weather, good times.
Yeah, exactly.
Fair,
Yeah.
fair. I understand. Alright. As my last question,
Mm.
we have two more things. One, for example, if there is a newcomer to
Okay.
Brussels or Belgium, what advice would you give them to make the journey easier? Let's say, first of all, say from student point of view,
Mm-hmm.
and then say from I don't know, like someone that wants to live here as well.
Okay, so student, and let's say someone who's an adult looking for a job or just transferred with their job or something like.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. As a student, I think, well, at least VUB, I think, offers okay planning in the sense that you're likely to find a dorm, for example. You're not gonna be homeless
Okay.
in that scenario. I would say here, one downside, stuff is pretty expensive, especially for me, at least from my point of view. When I go back to Romania, I'm always there like, oh, things are so cheap here, very affordable. And then I go back to Brussels and I starve for like a month because I'm used to the prices in Romania. But so yeah, I would say housing is good if you're a student. Managing money, you have to watch out. Um, Adapting, I would recommend pretty much instantly. Get a Belgium SIM card. They usually have decent deals, and also a transport card as well. If you're a student, I would highly recommend it because I think Belgium is not, in my opinion at least, I don't feel like Belgium is a very car city
Yeah,
in the
that's
sense
true.
that you can go anywhere, either even if you want by bike or by transport. So having a transport card is very
It's the
very
easiest
useful.
way. Yeah,
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 very
yeah.
useful, very time efficient, very cheap as well.
I agree. I totally
So
agree.
those would be my tips and tricks if you're a newcomer as a student.
Uh huh.
And maybe as a an adult, I think maybe that's a bit harder in terms of finding a place, renting a place. You don't know how your job functions maybe yet. Um, but what I would say is maybe, I don't know, either find a small place at first just to have it for a couple of months while you get settled in, get accustomed to the city in
Yeah,
general.
actually, yeah.
Then, I don't know, move somewhere else if you want to.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe compare the prices, compare the
yeah, exactly.
locations, see which one is the best to go to work.
Yeah,
Where is the closest grocery store?
exactly.
Do I have it? Do I need a car? Yeah. Okay.
And I'm saying like get something small at first because I wouldn't recommend people staying at a hotel.
Maybe
Don't get
Airbnb and shit.
maybe Airbnb, or yeah, that could be okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know exactly how prices are for Airbnbs in Belgium, but usually I know they're pretty affordable, so it
They
should be
can rent it
okay.
out for a month
Not bad.
for a good amount of money. I think so.
So yeah, that's what I
Okay.
would recommend. Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And for the last part,
Okay.
what is the quote of the day?
since we were talking a lot about our friends and how you never know what life brings you, I would say life is like a roller coaster. That would be my quote of the day.
Okay.
You never know what's gonna happen. You never know where life is gonna take you. So
That's
yeah,
so true. So always like put the effort at least.
exactly.
You don't know what's gonna happen, but
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna go good. Inshallah. But thank you for coming, Mihnea. I appreciate
It was a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.
Great experience.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you for watching the third episode. Stay toxic and talk sick. And see you guys in 2 weeks.